lie there in that old curiosity
is steaming, oh boy how I'm dreaming, while I'm cooking breakfast for the one I love. My baby likes bacon, and that's what I'm making, while I'm cooking breakfast for the one I love. Our life has been so nice and chummy, right from the start. When I want her tummy, I want her heart. My baby is happy, no wonder I'm happy, while I'm cooking breakfast for the one I love.
Well, hi everyone, I'm Scott, and this is the Old Curiosity Shop. Welcome back to another good old-fashioned kitchen counter thrift haul. And we are stuck in your granny's kitchen again today. And for some of you on the young side, maybe your great-grandmother's kitchen. But everything that you see here would have been right at home in a 1930s Depression-era kitchen. Really from the late 20s into the war years of the early 40s. And everything that you see is for sale in the Old Curiosity Shop. Now that is my eBay store. The link to the eBay store is in the description box right underneath of this video if you're watching on your computers or smartphones. Now I actually told a lie because the only thing I'm not selling is my anchor hocking rings, Depression era glass, which is right now filled with some punch. Now I call this church basement punch. My grandfather used to call it hooch. No, there's no alcohol in it. And if you grew up in the Methodist church, well, any church really, you know what I mean when I say good old-fashioned church basement punch. Now the kitchen in the fellowship hall in my old church was in the basement, and nobody made punch like those good old church ladies. And I'm not giving away my secret, but there it is, and that's what I'm drinking today. Church basement punch. Some of you are laughing at that because you know what I mean. Alright, be quiet and start telling everybody about what's for sale. Alright, I'm going to do that. But let me take a sip on this hot summer day and let you guys do the same thing. That is refreshing. Well, you didn't think I was going to sell this. You saw me when I purchased it a year ago, and here it is. Some folks thought that because it was on this fancy dish that it might have been meant for hotel use. But it wasn't. It was meant for the home, and it was made in the 1930s. And it is a tomato slicer. You can also slice other fruits or vegetables on it if you'd like to. And it is in completely working condition. The only damage on this is there's one little split there in the chrome, but it is not hurting this thing at all. It functions perfectly well, and it's all in place as it should be. And you place your tomato there and you slice it. Now, we'll turn it upside down and let you see. It's called the Wales Slicer. And it is on this wonderful porcelain dish here. And what you do is, and I'm going to try to do this with one hand, although that might not work. There are little slots here so we can spin this around. After you slice your tomato, you're supposed to take this off, and you have a wonderful serving dish. And all the juices collect here, and you could put a salad on this and serve the ladies at the Bridge Club luncheon. And leave this in your kitchen sink. So there are no chips or cracks on the porcelain, and this works very well. So what else would you slice on there? Maybe a peach or an apple? I love this thing. Very 1930s. Granny always had funny little salt and pepper shakers in her kitchen. Here are two Japan clowns. Well, clowns that were made in Japan in the 30s, and two little frogs made of lusterware. They're a little unusual and kind of fun looking. Corks are missing. We can deal with that. Oop, there's one that's got pushed up inside of there. We'll have to do some reconstructive, well, not reconstructive surgery. We'll have to give him a little fiber one and see if he can pass that cork. These clowns, I think, are meant to be sort of acrobatic, so they do fit together like that. And there isn't any damage on either one of these clowns. They're also missing their corks. A wonderful full set of McKee spice jars. Now you get all 8, and this is exactly how it was manufactured. Salt and pepper, mustard, allspice, ginger, nutmeg, cinnamon, and clove. All 8 of them were manufactured this way, and it actually originally came on a rack, a red metal rack. And you'll sometimes see these with red lids. No, I didn't chip off the red paint. You could have it. It was manufactured with red lids or with just plain old steel or metal lids such as this. So we're not missing any paint. But look at the condition of the graphics on all of these. Sorry about that. I'll just slide right through. Okay. Clove, cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger. Ooh, this is making me want some apple spice pumpkin cookies. I think I'm standing and blocking my light. Alright, the graphics couldn't be better. There's no damage on any of these. A couple of them have some remnants of some old labels on the back. You can see there. They're clean. I cleaned them on the inside and out. And these are chip or crack free. So if you're looking for a complete set, here you go. We loved that Dutch motif theme in kitchens here in the USA. I still don't know why, but it was very popular in the 1930s. I have not yet listed, but everything is listed really except these right here. These are little Tootsie Toy metal dollhouse furniture pieces. There's the stove and the 2 kitchen chairs. These are from a new, I just got a whole bunch of 1930s doll furniture the other day and haven't had a chance to do anything with it. So these are really just here for the fun of it, but they'll eventually be for sale. I don't know who made this, but it's very Art Deco. 2 necks. There's a solid porcelain divider, so you have salt on one side, pepper on the other. And we have that wonderful, everybody say it with me, cream and green, so popular for kitchens of the Depression era. Unmarked, but very deco, very 1930s. These metal lids will screw on and off just as they should. And I love this piece right here. And here we have a Fire King Philby. Well, this serves 2 purposes. This was me just being silly to see if anybody thought I had yet lost my mind. There's the toilet from that 1930s dollhouse set. That's not supposed to be in there. we'll blame the cat. This is a deep dish. Notice it's not your typical shallow pie pan with sides that flare out, but you could almost do a deep dish pizza. This piece of Fire King, and we see it does say Fire King right there. The Philby pattern, I think from 1941 into the early 50s. You may not be able to tell, but there is a tint of blue to this. And it served a dual purpose as a casserole lid, but then also as a pan, which you could cook in. So you can put this in your oven, you just can't put it over a burner, but it's okay to put in your oven. Okay, Fire King in the Philby pattern. I really like that. You guys decide, is it a mixing bowl or a planter? I'm going to say planter, but if you want to make cookies in it, go right ahead. It's nice and clean. It's a wonderful depression green bowl or planter. It's unmarked. I don't know who made it. Clearly from that era of the 30s. And you can see it is clean, and it does have some scratches on the bottom, which might lead me to believe that this is a mixing bowl rather than a planter. Let's call it a mixing bowl since we're in Granny's kitchen. There aren't any cracks on it. I think there's a little pin prick right there, which would be called a flea bite, but it's about the size of a head of a pin, and there's another one there. Otherwise, there's no damage to this, and it's really nice. I think I know who made this bowl, but I'm not going to say because I'm probably wrong. There's no mark on it. It's a mixing bowl. It has a nice floral decal on it. But you see all these embossed fruits around the outer rim? That's very typical of a couple of companies that made pottery like this. Kitchen Craft and Homer Laughlin, and there were others who made Bake Serve, who made kitchen pottery. So it's just a really nice mixing bowl. Great big one, you can see. I won't pick it up, but it's clean on the inside and out. No chips or cracks. Ready to be used or as a decoration in your Depression era kitchen. While we're talking about mixing bowls, let's go to the Jadeite green one over here, which is a mixing bowl mixer, or a dish rather, bowl. It's the large size, and this was usually sold with either Mixmaster or Magic Mixer. There were 4 or 5 different companies that made electric mixers, and this is a Jadeite bowl. This will fluoresce under black light. For those of you who are interested in that, it fluoresces beautifully. This is the large bowl. It's got the dimple on the bottom, and the corresponding smaller bowl that sat inside would sit over top of that dimple. But this would sit down in your electric mixer. You can use these for any type of mixing that you want. It's very heavy. It is not chipped, and it's ready to go. Now, the instructions on this say, cut out the little gnome on the back of this package. He will make the cake and the table more attractive. Well, I'll tell you, if I was a child and I came in and saw that anywhere near my birthday cake, I would probably run out of the room screaming. Is he cute or creepy? I'll leave it up to you. It's a wonderful box, probably 1940s, and there are actually 4 birthday candles still down inside of it. Now, this is the kind of thing that would be fun just to display in an old-fashioned kitchen. It's really funny. I don't know who made this. Maybe McKee, maybe Jeanette. It's one of those 1930s milk glass or opal glass spice shakers. It might have had a paper label down here. Many of these did have paper labels here, which are gone. The interesting thing about this lid is that and the reason why I think it was maybe for spice and not salt and pepper, is we can turn it on and off. You see, there's off. Now, if I turn it, which is hard to do with one hand, let me hold on for just a second, folks. I'm still here. I'm just fiddling. Hold on now. Don't go anywhere. All right, so you can actually twist the top, and if you'll notice, I've sort of have it halfway twisted there to open it up, and allow the contents to be sprinkled out. And then you just twist the top again and the holes will close. So somewhat unusual for a Depression era shaker. So I like that a lot. This piece right here is also uranium glass, and it will fluoresce under a black light. It is missing its beater top. Now this is what would be on it. This is not what went on this particular one because it doesn't actually fit on there. Let's get down and get a little light on the subject. Okay, I think that's right. Now let's move the whole thing over here. Okay. So we have this wonderful glass mixer, and again, as I said, it's missing its beater top, but it does have on the side, you can measure out 16 ounces there embossed, and then over here we have the cups. All right, and it says patent pending on the bottom. Kind of an Art Deco design on it. So the beater would sit down on the top here, and you would have your scrambled eggs or whatever you're mixing. I am selling this separately because, as I said, it doesn't fit this. But you could use this as a measuring cup just as it is, or search online until you find the actual replacement beater for it. Now, one of the things that Grandma always had in her kitchen was a wall pocket. And here's one in excellent condition, made in Czechoslovakia, very typical of the types of wall pockets you would see in the 1930s. It's a cute bird sort of pecking away at either a bird's nest or a bird feeder. I think he needs to lose a little weight if he's going to get through that hole. Like all of us, he probably put on a few COVID pounds. So we'll maybe just say it's a bird feeder. Made in Czechoslovakia. And of course, wall pockets would hang next to the kitchen window or the kitchen sink, and Grandma would have some type of a little piece of ivy growing out of it or something like that. There are no chips on this, and it really is pretty. There were always odd planters in the kitchen. Here's one that might date to the 40s. It's a funny little kind of a gnome with an empty basket. There's those empty baskets again. Cute little fella there. There's nothing on the bottom except the original price of 49 cents. And this may be American, as I said, I'm not really sure. But it's in excellent condition and just a cute planter for the kitchen. Totally unmarked. Don't know who made these. It's not Tea Room by Indiana Glass, but it sure does remind me of it. These pieces do not contain uranium, and they will not glow under a black light. There are no chips or cracks, which is really amazing. And I'm going to let you decide whether you want these to be Parfait glasses or little vases. The reason why I put a spoon down in one of these is to show you that you can actually get a standard size teaspoon down in there, but you're not going to get much dessert out of these Parfait glasses. They're really, really skinny. We ate smaller portions back then anyway, didn't we? Well, you get both Parfait glasses for one price, but you do not get my Bakelite spoon. Sorry about that. I did skip over this, which is an anchor hocking vase. These are very common, made in Jadeite glass, Art Deco, good shape. A little bit of calcium on the inside of it, but not on the outside at all. Made by Hazel Atlas, I believe. I sometimes get the mixing bowls mixed up. There's a nice nesting bowl there, probably about an 8-inch or so. It does fluoresce under black light. It's a mixing bowl in really good condition. There are no problems with that. I've talked a million times, and I've probably sold 20 of these, and here's another one. Hazel Atlas sold these. It's called Gay Rainbow. It's platinite. You originally got 4 of these in blue, red, yellow, and green. This is the green one, which I always seem to find. It is in excellent condition with no chips or cracks. It's a fired-on color. And this was a premium with Kix cereal. That's right, Kix cereal. Here is a little grease jar, which you would have gotten with a range set. Now, a range set, and I'll take you over here, and pardon, there's a little bit of salt that I didn't wipe up that's on my stove, but that's a range set right there. I'm not selling this. Salt, pepper, flour, and sugar. This is Art Deco from the 30s as well. But with a range set, you would also get a grease jar. Our grandmothers collected grease and drippings and whatnot, and in the 1940s they would take it down to their butcher, who would collect it, and it was used for the war effort. So women were not only saving grease to recook with, but the U.S. government asked them to turn it into their local butcher, and it was used in making munitions and whatnot during the war. Okay, so this one is Homer Laughlin, I believe. They had a line called Oven Serve. A nice cream and green color on that. It's in really good shape. These are usually really stained on the inside. We see a little bit, but not much. So you could do a lot with that. Keep your sweet and low in there, your kitty treats, your ginger snaps, what have you. These two are being sold in one auction, and we're probably dipping into the 50s with these. Here's another one of those glass, really I guess a cheese grater and shaker, which says Federal on the bottom of it. And here's a wonderful syrup jug, which really looks late 40s into the 50s. Still in very good working condition. Made in USA. The top does screw on and off as it should. And you can put your pancake syrup in there and go to town. I love this. Again from the 30s. Probably used to serve ketchup or relish or mustard on the table. You know, we wouldn't dare stick a ketchup bottle out on the table when the ladies came over for lunch. You had to put it in something like this. It is glass from the 30s, but look at the Bakelite top. That color is called Butterscotch Bakelite, if I could get it to focus, and there's a black piece of Bakelite on there as well. And I'm just showing you how a spoon would fit down inside of it. I'm not selling my green Bakelite handled spoons. It's really just there to give you an idea of what it would look like if you put your own Bakelite spoon in there of any particular color that you happen to have. Get back on there. Okay, so I love that. From the 30s. And finally, there is one more thing here I didn't list, and you're going to have to let me know if anyone is interested, and I'll go ahead and list it. It's this platter right here. Grandma always had odd dishes in the kitchen that she held on to, and this platter is not in excellent condition, but I love the colors of it. It's crazed. It's got some staining in it, and there's even a little crack on that end, and I think there's even, where did I go? There I am. There's even a little tight hairline crack on that end. It's stained. There's a chip on the back of it. I can't even make out who made it. It could be English. Wonderful color, and could be used for serving bread at the kitchen table or whatnot. But just a charming old platter from that Depression era in cream and green. So I'm not sure why I didn't get that listed, but that's the only thing that's not. Alright, standing back up and going over everything again, going to refocus. I had a lot of fun putting all of these pieces together. Back here we see a photograph of somebody's Depression era mother or grandmother. Of course, it's a young woman there, but this Art Deco frame and the hairstyle and the dress puts this lady in the 1930s. She would have been at home with all of these items that you see here on the counter and very well familiar with them if she were to step forward in time and visit me here. I don't know who this is. I bought it just like that, even with that cracked glass. So we'll put her back there, sort of the mystery honor woman for today. And I'll let you see Granny's kitchen again. It was a lot of fun putting all of these pieces together. I hope you enjoyed. And listen, you don't have to buy anything. It doesn't matter to me if you go to the eBay shop or not. Yeah, I'm here to sell stuff. But I also love the comments, the memories when people watch and they write in and they say, oh my goodness, you just brought back wonderful memories. I'm happy if I can to just take you away from the troubles of life for 15 or 20 minutes a day. And I hope I've done that today. Hey everyone, I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop. It's hot in the city today, well up into the 90s. I hope it's cool where you are, and if not, go and have yourself some church basement punch and enjoy yourselves. Okay folks, that's it. Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop saying thanks for watching, and so long for now.